This is BBC Three Counties Radio. It's Monday afternoon. Nick Coffer live in Watford. I'll be chatting shortly to a chap I've never met, but I feel like I know actually, Justin Beattie, who's part of Watford Local Radio. The hospital radio at Watford General Hospital. I've known Justin on Twitter for quite a long while. I'm delighted to see that he actually exists in real life. I'll meet him shortly. We'll talk about the great work they do at Pulse Hospital Radio. So today we've been hearing about the history of arts and businesses in Watford, but what about the community itself? Justin Beattie and Mark Nicholson from Pulse Hospital Radio. They broadcast in local hospitals and online. Nice to meet you last, Justin.
And you as well, Nick. Yeah.
Much better looking than your Twitter photo.
Really? I need to apply some more filters then, basically. Yeah, thank you.
We've often chatted online, and Mark, we haven't met before. You have been there for pretty well longer than the equipment itself.
No, I wouldn't say that. About 2 decades, I'd say. But I came away for a couple of years and I came back because I loved it so much. You
will have had to have upped your game, won't you? Because there is this, let's say, traditional view of hospital radio, which can be a little bit. I'm not going to use the word amateur, but a little bit. Should we say ad hoc? Is the way. However, you've got massive competition now because we all go into hospital. We have our smartphones. There's 4G network. We can listen to any radio station in the world. We can watch any TV station. We can watch all of the Sky channels. We can do what we want on our smartphone and on our tablets. So whereas back in the day you had a captive audience who had, it was a choice between either listening to you or waiting for the phone to be delivered around the ward and to phone home. Now you've got competition, and that has changed how you work, hasn't it?
Oh, definitely. I mean, social media plays a massive part in what we do now. And, that is our main area now, is to get the message out while we're making a difference to the community. And if we can just, improve patients' lives, it's what we're about. And that's what we try to do, at Watford and throughout the West Hertfordshire. Because we don't just cover Watford, we cover Hemel Hempstead, we cover St Albans. And having an online presence is absolutely critical to our success now moving forward. And we do little things, as I said before, to help people. And I think we do improve the patients' lives a lot.
Well, Justin, this is something that I know you're passionate about, that the research and the evidence which shows that hospital radio does make a difference.
It does, yeah. I mean, it has been scientifically proven to make a difference. If you think about some of the people that we see when we go around the wards, they might have, for example, fallen over at Watford Junction Station and been taken into hospital. They might come from anywhere in the UK. And the only people that they talk to day after day is going to be doctors, nurses checking their blood pressure, this sort of thing. Whereas we come round and we say, hello, we're from the hospital radio. Can we play a song for you? They'll talk about music for 10 or 15 minutes and they'll choose the song they want to hear and we'll play it for them, and they're grateful that we played it for them. And that's what makes a difference. I mean, just being a presence there that isn't a surgical person, it does make a big difference to their day, I think.
I hinted that you had been there longer than the equipment. That is, of course, not true. The history of the station itself.
Okay, the station started in 1955, which is 62 years, and it started in a broom cupboard at Watford General Hospital. Now, the station has got...
Was it literally a broom cupboard?
Yeah, it was a broom cupboard at the Peace Memorial Hospital, which is where the Peace Hospice is now in the town. Then we moved down to Vicarage Road. In 1985, the studio was opened by Noel Edmonds in the January of 85. There's been a lot of change. We've opened a new studio there. Johnny Walker opened it in 2012. It's Studio 2 there. But what's happened, we've merged with Hemel Hempstead Hospital Radio to form the Pulse Hospital Radio, hence why we've had a name change in the last 2 years, which now brings the whole of West Hertfordshire together. So, we can have our coverage area goes up from Markyate and Harpenden in the north, very close to Luton, obviously, and out to Berkhamsted and Tring, into Hemel Hempstead, St Albans, Watford, Rickmansworth, right down to Boreham Wood. So we've got a massive area now to cover. So it's great. We're out in the community. We do things in Watford. We do things in Hemel. So it's really good.
Now, come on, you've obviously, right now, you've got this very, very slick operation. You say you're covering a massive patch. You've got very fine presenters. There have been the folklore moments as well. There must be stories in your head which once seen will never be forgotten.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I can remember about 5 years ago, actually, we had a lady called Holly, very local here in Watford. She took an Olympic torch round to the patients. We all went around the wards, and patients' faces, I'm not just joking here, actually literally lit up because it was about ready for recovery. And I always remember that a moment 5 years ago to see patients' faces who were really ill, just faces light up and thinking, actually, do you know something? We're doing something good here for the community.
Mark, Justin, he didn't really understand where I was going. You know what I mean. When's it? It's a good story, but when's it gone wrong?
Well, I think things go wrong occasionally, technically and stuff. But we're not kind of the whole Ivan Brackenbury thing really kind of rankles with me because I actually think our output's really good.
I've heard it is.
I think our output's excellent. I'm really proud of all our presenters and all the shows that we have. And this whole myth around hospital radio being a bit naff, I think is a myth. I honestly do.
It's also a great breeding ground for people who want to get into radio. So the question that's asked to me all the time is, how can I get into radio? If anyone wants to come and present with you, do you have an open door?
Yeah, very much so, yeah. Open door. Applications at West Herts Radio if you want to join us. Absolutely no problem at all. We train you. You have to have no experience whatsoever. If you want to come, we'll train you, get you presenting radio shows.
How do you make that decision? What are you looking at when? Because I'm guessing you're oversubscribed. Who are you picking?
Well, enthusiasm is the main thing. Enthusiasm, people that are willing to give up their time.
Warmth?
Yeah, definitely warmth. Yeah. Yes, we're always looking for people, though.
So you sign up where? The West Herts Radio?
West Herts, the applications at westhertsradio.com is the email address if you want to join us.
So an email address. Rewind. Applications at westhertsradio.com. Write and get the application form, make it as exciting as you can, and you say you have every chance of them being on the radio.
Definitely. If you're enthusiastic and willing to give up your time, then we'll take you, definitely.
Mark, in your 20-odd years, where have you really seen it make a difference? You mentioned there the Olympic torch moment, but you must see this almost on a daily basis where you get the gratitude, you get the thanks, you get the recognition.
Yeah, I've definitely seen it grow over the last, few years particularly. Where I see it happening is the dedication of the members, basically. And I think the members really make a difference. And just the enthusiasm, which is, I think, the key thing, really. And just the technology that we use now. So I've seen the technology improve, obviously, which is a key thing. And everything now is really, moving forward for the social media. So everything's going forward, really.
And also the big difference is, whereas previously you had to be sick, Justin, to listen, anyone can listen now.
Absolutely, yeah. We're online, so you can go to the TuneIn app and look at the Pulse Hospital Radio. We're on there. I have listeners from Texas, New Zealand, South Africa, all over the world, really. So
you find that they find you when they're in the hospital, and then they carry on looking for you once they, as you say, they could have been transiting through the country. They could have been, brought here from Heathrow Airport, who knows, or Luton Airport, and then they follow you once they're gone.
Yeah, there is an element of that, but I think a lot of it also is the social media side of things. I tend to, tweet out when I'm going to be on air and stuff, and people, from all over the world can obviously see my tweets and listen. But I mean, obviously the community is our main focus. Obviously, patients in the community will always be our main focus. But online you can tune in on the TuneIn app.
You've come a long way from a shoebox, a little broom cupboard, haven't you, Mark?
We've come a long way, and I can see it growing and growing now, and really getting bigger and bigger.
Even in these times of cutbacks, you can continue to grow.
Well, absolutely, yeah, because we're all volunteers. So we do our own fundraising. And so as long as we can be self-sufficient on the fundraising and, keep getting money in to buy equipment when it goes wrong and things like that, then we should be okay.
Long may it continue. So it's now the Pulse Radio. Of course, many of you will have known it as Watford Hospital Radio. I've had more than one opportunity to listen to it myself, and it is a very, very important service to patients. And as you're saying, Justin, not only to patients, but people well beyond the West Herts region. It's Nick Coffer, BBC Three Counties Radio.